Good morning, community and YouTube as well. Welcome to this morning Outlook and Setup, the Tuesday Outlook and Setup on the 17th of August. Already halfway through the month, and it has been good so far. I'm going to start with GU, and we're going to recap just what I shared over the weekend on GU and how it's playing out so far. So remember, we were just quickly use the replay mode for this reason. We were there. And I said that we have liquidity above this high, that high, previous week's high, and then we have this imbalance over here. So my general idea was that we will be moving towards the downside, might see a reaction at the imbalance, see the reaction, and then continue on further towards the downside. I also pointed out that we could potentially first sweep the highs, and then we can see the push down reaction continuation further towards the downside. So that was the whole idea beginning of the week, and what I then tended to look out for, and that is what we saw. We first had a push down. There was probably some trade opportunities there as well, but then we pushed back towards the upside, swept the liquidity of the previous week's high, previous day's high actually, which would then be Friday, and then we started moving towards the downside. We saw a nice reaction off of this area, as mentioned. Nice reaction, push towards the upside. So this trade that I took here and shared, it wasn't meant to be a big trade all the way towards the upside. It was just a 15-20 pip scalp catching that move. And then we started seeing price moving back towards the downside. Okay, so that is then where we are today. So before you ask, send me DMs and stuff, these lines, they are the daily separators, and it's not an indicator, it's just this tool, the cyclic lines. You just press it and then move it where you want it. So I have mine from GMT 6 o'clock till 6 a.m. 6 a.m. in the morning till 6 a.m. GMT plus 2. And then this dotted line, this one over here, I hope you can see it. That's just more or less the end of the day when I don't want to be trading anymore. I want to be having my last trade before this time. It's just a personal preference and a way of maintaining discipline and not over trading. So 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I don't want to be at the charts, in front of the charts, opening trades or anything. Probably closing trades as well by that time as well. So there you have it. That's all for the technical stuff in the chart. So we're just gonna stick on the 1 hour for today's lesson. Oh, sorry, not lesson, for today's analysis. We still have this low over here that can act as liquidity that we can be drawn to. We can just hide this for now. And then we have yesterday's high as well, which would then be the new form of liquidity, which would be the previous day's high, which would be then liquidity over there. And then we also can actually just note the most recent low. So this is yesterday's low. It might feel confusing because the low was created like right before the new day, and it was just trending all the way towards the downside. And as you can see, why I do these lines and why I plot them on the 1 hour is because usually you would see a high and a low created within each day. Even if we just plot them and put them backwards, not that one, this one. If we go backwards to 5, 6, let's just make them another color. So even if you look at the backwards in time, you can see we created a high and a low, we created a high and a low, we created a high and a low. Some days are more consolidated, but high, low, high, low. Even here as well, we have a high, high and a low, and a low and a high, and a high and a low. You get the picture. So what this basically tells me then, and what I blend this with session openings, and you blend this with time of day, specific times of the day. And when you blend it with specific times of the day, session openings, and you look at certain areas of interest, you can easily then catch the high of the day and the low of the day within a trading day. So that is just why I do it, and it's a habit that has helped me a lot. So now I need to look at where is price going to next. So we can take that away, we can take that away. We can now see this is the new impulse leg, and we can then put our premium and discount tool on it as well, and we can see that technically above the 50% is where we would want to be selling, but everything on the 1 hour looks relatively balanced. The only thing that I can see, we have this 1 hour level over here. Let's just call it supply. No, it's not necessarily a supply, but for explanation purposes, it's just easier to describe this as a supply. So I am still interested in going short. So that would be probably a good place to look for potential shorts if you look at the 1 hour. But also, again, the 1 hour does look rather balanced. There's no impulse moves on the 1 hour. So usually on the 15 minute, I would like to see full body candles impulsing out of a zone, if this is our order block, we want to see full body candles pushing out, so that we maybe have some imbalance left there that will act as a magnet to draw price back into our area where we could then sell from and then take the continuation down. So in this case, I'm not yet seeing that over here. It's not impulsive move. This is just the Asian range. So we can actually just plot the Asian range that we have over here. 2. So that is the Asian high. That is the Asian low. So that is a really, really trending environment. So we need to be careful. It's not building up orders. It's not accumulating. So chances are that we're going to have a bit of a maybe a more unpredictable session in regards to the new London Open. New York might be better because then London has made its moves and we might see something better. If we just look on the 15 minute, this candle over here does look better. I do appreciate this candle formation, this candle type a bit more, just purely because of the bodies leaving that candle. If we now look at the bodies, we can see we have some imbalance left there. We did break this structure, this minor structure. We broke it impulsively with a structure break towards the downside. And then we have the other pieces of the puzzle here as well. The rest of the recipe is present as well with regards to, we have our liquidity here as well. So this area does feel more plausible, a better opportunity for me, I would say, for price to reach this area. I don't know why it's pink. Let's just use blue. But blue may be difficult for some to see. So this area does feel better for me. So that's more the extreme point, and it's in the 50%. So I do think that would be for me a better point to look for a shorting opportunity. So looking for price to move up into this area and then possibly looking for a confirmation entry. You guys on YouTube will remember the entry videos. Look back at that. Entry videos number 2 is coming soon as well, so don't fear, it is in the works. So that's then possibly something that I'll be looking at on GU today. And I think it does align for me with the higher time frame analysis. So this line is where I'm targeting for the higher time frame. That is my higher time frame targets for now. Well, obviously, first of all, it's these lows that needs to be taken out, and then the higher time frame lows, over here as well. So that is then what I am looking at today. We have some news today as well, so that's something to keep in mind as well. So just pay attention to that as well. So as I'm saying, if you look at the 1 hour, this is a big 1 hour candle relatively. So we'll need probably another big one and maybe a third one. So I do think that around London Open, an hour after London Open is probably going to be a better time to look for trades. So that is the ideal level where I will be looking for shorts to see a reaction. If if something happens, like we get the reaction off of this level, so if we go to the 15-minute again, and we do get a very decent strong reaction off of this candle, that is then the first one on the 1 hour, then I would also just look for that confirmation. So if we get into this area and then we strongly break structure towards the downside, then I'll be looking for that confirmation entry and looking for price to go down. So in this case, the structure break will be very important, and the return to an order block will be very important, and also how price reaches that area. Maybe if we created some double top, equal highs, and we sweep at equal highs, and then we break structure, that's all part of the entry patterns that we look for, and then looking for price to return, and then we get that entry. So I'm not discrediting this area. It's not that I'm not going to be focused on it. It's just that this area is, for me personally, a higher probability area. But I will still be open for potential trade setups, even if we react from a lower level. So that is, I think, it on GU. So we know where our liquidity is. We know where price can be reaching for, and we just need to be patiently waiting and getting there in time and being aware of it. So I'm just gonna put here zone 1. So we have a zone 1 and a zone 2. So you guys can know that I'm either looking for zone 1 or zone 2. If both of them break, and we break above this last lower high, then potentially we can be looking for longs up until we breach this area as well. So that is the analysis, that's the idea for this morning on GU. Let's have a look at EU. On EU, I quickly want to just recap the trade that I took yesterday on EU2 trades actually. The one was a break even, which was this one. Well, not break even, I just closed it over there. Started noticing the dollar index and the GU dropping strongly, and then I just closed this one over there for like 1% gain. But if we read the price action, just reading the order flow, bearish order flow, respected, so looking for continuation shorts. What do I mean by order flow? We're basically just making lower lows and lower highs. Basically, that's it, and just how we do it. So we push down, we created a lower high, we break down, creating a lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and lower low, looking for a new lower high, and then new lower low. So it's just basic market structure. There's nothing much more to it, but we can read some things into it. Where do we react from? So there we have an order block, price breaks down, we retest that order block, we push down, we come back up, we create equal highs. So potentially those equal highs can be swept, but we have to keep that in mind. Then we break down again, we leave this order block behind, we return to it, respect it, and then we start pushing down. We're creating this pause area, and then we continue down lower. Clean in, okay, we need to delete some of those notes, otherwise it's going to become very difficult to read. So in here again, we have a nice push down, we're creating this pause area, and then we have a nice push down, leaving that imbalance. Remember what I said about full body candles breaking out of that zones, a clean leg out, that's what I'm looking for. And then this was just the cherry on the cake, where we created this liquidity, this bunch of accumulation, orders above it. So we basically just sweep the highs into an order block. Make notes of this, guys, this is very important, and this is something that that golden nugget, the sweep of highs into an order block. We see the reaction and we push down, and just taking profit at this order block down here, and you can see the reaction off of it, push up. So we see the reaction, and then I took actually a 1 minute. My entry was on that wick, just break support and resistance theories. Support, resistance, we break through it, we come back, we retest it, stop loss just below those wicks, and this actually should have taken profit at this area, because this area has not yet been 50% mitigated. So if we put the tool on it, you can see this has not yet mitigated 50% of it. There we mitigate exactly to the T 50% of it, and then we move down. So in hindsight, that would have been the better play, but obviously I'm looking for it to go all the way towards the upside, so that was then a mistake from my side. I closed it over there for about 1%. And then price was just like consolidated and yeah, going towards the downside. So that was the yesterday's trade on EU. I'm deleting the wrong stuff here now. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly do this because I want to just save this. Okay, so we're just gonna put this into a box. Sorry about the delay, guys. You can skip through this if you're on YouTube. You can just call this Monday. Let me just save it. Boom. Okay, now we can focus on today's price action. We are on the 1 hour. So, a few things that we need to consider over here. Let's remove those zones. Usually, when we see an impulse, we would want to see correction and then impulse again. So that is typically what we look at and how we look at it. And that is what we see here now. We see an impulse and we see price correcting slowly, coming back down, and then probably an impulse again. So that is usually bullish flag, whatever, you know. We can obviously look at all those things, but we don't look at that. I need to look at my 1 hour areas of liquidity. Currently EU is not as clear to me. Okay, sorry, I paused the video. I had to quickly take a call. I'm back now. On the 4 hour, for me, it's clear to see we had an impulse down. We came back. We respected or retasted the imbalance on the 4 hour and kind of moving towards the downside now. So on the 4 hour, where's the possible reaction points? Well, this whole zone over here can be a reaction point for price to move down lower and fill the imbalance on this side. On the 1 hour, taking that over. It's difficult for me to really give a clear analysis because I feel confused about it myself. We have this low, we haven't broken it impulsively. Over here, it looks like we are breaking below it now, but there's no clear 1 hour area for me to be selling from. The only area we would be looking to buy then is probably on the 1 hour, which would be this series of down candles that can form a zone for looking for buys. So sorry guys, EU, I don't have much for you on EU today. I feel much more in sync with GU, even though GU is now just not going up to our level at all, but that's fine. What this only means is that we can possibly look for a sweep of the previous day's low, which is this low, a sweep of this low, and then maybe the continuation up into one of these areas. So we need to keep all possible scenarios in mind and really focus on where the liquidity is. So that is it from me. So we are reacting off of this small zone over there, but that's not for me a viable, valuable zone really, because, well, it's mitigating that zone. You can even see on the 5 minute, I guess. On the 5 minute, it's clear, imbalance, order block, structure break. But for me, that wouldn't really fall into my plan. But obviously, you could have taken a short over here. If you took 50% of that zone, stop loss above, and then take profit just at the lows would be my guess. Because we do have a imbalance, we have a push down, we have a clean structure break. We have some liquidity on this side as well. So this is a clean setup for Frankfurt open setup, pushing up into this area, but then Frankfurt opens over only like now, and then we see the push down. So I wouldn't have seen this trade or have taken it, but you see what we're seeing here. We just want to duplicate this on a bit of higher time frame. I prefer seeing this on the 15-minute time frame. That is my ideal scenario. So I do think that we can still go up higher. I do think so. And then go lower again. So it can be confusing, but all things work out in the end. Okay guys, that's it from me. A very long video. Skip through it, take what you can from it, and then I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.